Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy indeed, everybody. Hang
Yeah.
on.
Hi. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
There we are.
Ta-da!
No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Is it not working?
Hi. Hi.
Hey, is it working now? Are we on?
We are.
Is it?
I see it. I see us
There you go.
on. I have to
Yeah, no, I
mute
see
it
us
so
too.
I can't see it though, or so I can't hear it while I'm also
I think we're
talking.
good.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Dice Thespians. This week, as you can see, we are shy some players. Summertime is heavy filming time, and so we have a couple of players that are off doing filming, one that's doing doctor's appointments, one that's doing, all doing different things. So today it's just the three of us. So today,
Today, man.
so today we have a little something different planned. Well, they don't know. Shauna and Rob are our two players today, and so we're going to just dive right in. Okay, Rob, what is on your left right now?
What is on my left?
Right now, where you're sitting.
Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, a fan,
Oh,
bedside table,
Okay, what's on your right?
another fan,
You
my
love
laptop.
it. Okay, Shauna, what is on your left?
paper.
Okay,
Literally.
all right, and what is on your right?
A water bottle
Okay,
or a duster thing to spray out dust from your computer.
okay, Rob, as you're sitting right there right now, all of a sudden, you're feeling just a little bit dizzy. Something feels weird. Feels kind of cold, and then all of a sudden, you're getting sucked backwards, and you reach out and you flail and you grab one of your fans, and it is sucked with you as you're trying to hold on, and you're holding, and eventually the plug falls out and you're sucked away into darkness, and all you will see around you is darkness. You're floating.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, yeah. You look around.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like empty space. And there's a voice. And the voice says, "Come here, little one."
Oh gosh.
And you find yourself, you're moving. There's no wind. There's no air. As you feel your chest, you're not breathing. But you know you're moving because that thing in our brain that helps us be stable tells you that you're moving. Shauna.
Yes.
Okay, so you're sitting right there.
Gosh.
Doggy at your feet.
Hi, doggy.
Your kitties behind you, your paper, your water bottle. And all of a sudden you feel very dizzy and you feel very cold. But wait a minute, it starts cold, but now you feel hot.
Oh
It's
gosh.
like really uncomfortably hot. Did your air conditioner quit working? You look behind and all of a sudden you're being pulled forward. And you reach out and you grab and you flail and you grab something, but you're not sure what, as you're pulled into light. Bright, hot, burning light.
That's not so good.
No, it's not. And you reach and you flail around and you're not breathing, but you don't need the air. That's okay. You're okay. We're good. We're good. You realize that the thing that you grabbed is your dog.
Yay!
And she is stuck there in space, and you can see that her mouth is open like she's panting, but there's no sound.
There's no sound.
Nope, from her.
Okay.
And you start moving once again, only knowing you're moving because that wonderful little receptor in our sinuses that lets us know whether we're straight up or off to the side lets you know that you're moving, because there's no air to like indicate and no sight to indicate of anything but light. And you hear a voice.
Okay.
And that voice says, "Go there, little one."
Go where? When I say something, do I hear anything?
No, you do not.
Why was yours so much less creepy than mine?
Because I have the doggy of love and light and non-creepiness.
Dang.
Okay, and Rob?
Okay.
Rob,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
moving. You're moving. You feel like it's moving faster. It's moving faster. You feel like you're getting that really awkward feeling that makes you feel like you're getting turned upside down. And it's really uncomfortable. It's a really uncomfortable feeling. And all of a sudden, you are spat out. That's the only word to describe it, because you come flailing out of this, I guess portal would be a good word. And you land on dark, heavy gravel. This place is like, it's maybe night. I don't know. It's dark, but you can still see stuff, which is weird considering how dark it is, you know, like there might be an ambient light that's not really reflecting, but is there. And as you look up, you realize that you are surrounded by creatures that look like, well, for lack of a better word, demons. Roll me a perception check.
Dang.
Okay, but wait. You have to roll me a perception check, but you don't have any stats. I need both of you to open your D&D Beyond right now, and very quickly, with just you've got 5 minutes to stat out yourself as a character.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Only your attribute stats. You don't know your class yet. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I am going to go grab my timer, which is over there, lighting up this painting nobody can see. It's actually one of the original paintings from the TV show Heroes. It is a shadowy figure creeping up on a very frightened looking cheerleader.
Oh no.
Sadly, I don't have enough light in here for you to see it very clearly, but that is my backdrop for today. All right, I will be right back. You have 5 minutes.
Okay. And we're making ourselves as a character. Okay.
Yeah. I need help walking through. I got create a character, but how do we know? Are we rolling for all of our stuff?
Yeah. We're not doing everything. We're just doing the basics. So like cons and strength and dexterity and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Not
So what you're going to give is
standard
your
quick build
statistics for what
randomized.
you think your actual strength would be, what you think your actual intelligence, wisdom, those things. So
what about quick build? Easy?
no, because that's not going to get, well, you can try it. Yeah, quick build. But you're going to give yourself your own stats. If you have some puzzling thoughts about it, we can talk them out. We have 4 minutes. Definitely strength would be your higher stat. I don't know if any of you guys have been looking at Rob's Facebook page, but he posted a video the other day of him leg pressing. How much weight? I couldn't even tell. I was counting him. I was like, that's not like freaking 800 pounds.
It was 928 pounds.
How do you even do that without your bones shattering? I don't get it.
I did get shaky before my last rep. My right knee like shook a little bit. And I was like, I still got to do one more. I was trying to readjust, but it was it was heavy.
How many reps did you do?
3.
Wow. Okay, so definitely strength is your high stat, I would imagine. Well, I don't know though, because you're pretty smart too. So I'll let you guys decide what you think your stats really would be.
Do we know our race and stuff?
Well, you are you. You're human. Male,
Okay.
you're Rob.
Easy.
And
right.
Shauna.
What about class?
You're not going to fill in yet because you haven't made that decision yet.
It won't let me.
What class do you think you really would be?
I have no idea.
I think you'd be a warrior. Like yeah.
Warrior?
Yeah, maybe straight warrior for now. Are we starting at first level?
Yeah, because you guys have never done this before.
All right.
Warrior's not on here. You know what? I'm going to do the standard build. This quick build doesn't seem to be working.
Okay. That works just fine. You have 3 minutes.
I'm just a simple human.
Okay, Shauna, what do you think your class would be? If you guys think you know your class, you can totally choose it right now while you're building this character really fast.
I don't know. I would say probably I would go either between a ranger or, because I love animals, even though the ranger class in D&D 5e sucks, or I would go with a rogue.
A rogue. Well, that's what you play most often, so
yeah,
that wouldn't surprise me.
There's reasons for that.
2 minutes.
Oh, what languages do I know?
English.
Okay.
Because, you know, so far as I'm aware anyway, you don't know. Do you know any Japanese? From the anime watching? Yeah, so basically this character is you as you are right this minute. You know what you know. Your stats are who you are right now.
What should I don't?
Your class.
Yeah, but so like, what do I put? Like 200 as my strength score.
200 is my strength score. Yeah, because I'm like.
If you can lift 200 pounds, that would be a 20 strength.
Okay. So if I can lift 900 pounds,
I would say my constitution is an 8.
That would be. I don't know that would work quite the same way. Yeah.
Strength is funny. Honestly, I don't want to make like a superhuman character because that's not.
So we need to roll the dice for this.
No, because
that's what I would think.
We're just making up for like the stats for strength.
No, that's you choose what you think you are.
Oh well, I'm like a 20 and everything then, because I'm like so amazing.
Yeah, no. So 118 intelligence is genius level. That's like a 180 intelligence. 14 is like at the low end of genius level. 10 is the average in all of these statistics. So if you're 10, it's like you're like everybody else. The ones where you're higher is because you're, you know, you can actively do those things. You know what languages you actually know right now.
Okay, so.
And you're wearing exactly what you're wearing right now. And the only other thing you have with you is the thing that you grabbed as you were sucked through the portal.
So my doggy. I got my doggy.
All right, 4, 3, 2,
no,
1.
Yikes.
Can we do 18s?
Yeah. If you really feel like you're that.
Or I can be that.
Solid. I created my character, I think.
All right. Okay. There you go.
Created mine. Or like my basic.
Or close enough.
Yeah.
Okay. For your hit points, Rob, roll a d10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then add whatever constitution bonus you might have. Constitution is how sickly or healthy you are. If you get sick easily, your constitution will not be very high. If you don't get sick easily, then your constitution might be kind of up there.
Yeah, my
and Shauna, you too.
So I got strength, constitution, and charisma as my strong suits.
Okay.
I got a +10. So that was +10 on my for the D10 for my health.
Okay. So you're gonna put that in your hit points.
Like add it to my max HP.
Well, no, you're gonna go in and change the HP to what it is. Okay. Because for each person, the game or the D&D Beyond will just put in your hit points, and you have to go in and change it to be what your actually rolled hit points are. Because I'm not a big fan of this is, the average hit points for this level. No, let's see if you were lucky or unlucky. That adds a little bit more fun to the character. So you would just go in, but I mean, honestly, you can just write it down on your sheet too.
What should we are for our class? Our class, does it matter?
Because right now it's only saying I have 14 hit points.
Our class? What should we do for our class?
You're going to put down warrior and either rogue or ranger first level.
We'll do rogue for now.
Okay. And then
because none of us are clerics and can heal us at all.
Nope. So did you roll a 4, Rob? And then it's a plus or a 10 plus 4?
Yeah. I rolled a 10. So it was plus 4 on top of the 10.
Yep. So you have 14 hit points.
Yeah, it's funny. I thought I rolled a 0, but the D10 doesn't go down to 0. So
nope, that's the 10. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny.
All right. And Shawnee, you've got your hit points rolled?
Yeah, hold on, sorry. Okay. For some reason it did something weird. Okay.
Yeah. I used a max HP modifier and it seemed to work.
Awesome.
9 hit points.
Yeah.
All right.
We're only first level.
Yep, you're only first level. All right. So Rob, you're in this gravelly area. It's very dark, like endless night, and the things that are just circling you and looking at you, some of them are short, look like what we would call imps. Some of them are tall and humanoid. Some of them are just disgusting. Did you ever see the movie Hellraiser?
Yes.
Some of them look like that, like cenotaphs. With like things sticking in, stuck staples in them, but there's one that instantly draws your gaze before, you look at all of the others. I mean, and you are surrounded. There's probably 200 of them around you going back into the distance. And they're all looking at you like you're just like your food. But there's one that the others have cleared a space around. And this one is very large. And this one looks at you with eyes that don't look human. I mean, they're definitely not human eyes. They're not like glowy red eyes. Instead, you look at them and it's like they're hollow, and inside is fire somewhere in the skull in the depths, like it's reflecting hell. And this gigantic, monstrous beast looks at you with those strange flaming eyes, and you feel your soul become icy cold. Just every part of you, like despair, fills you, and you want to weep.
Can
roll me. Yes, you can. Roll me a will save.
I was going to say to survive heart attack.
Yeah, no, roll me a will save, which is your wisdom.
No, my wisdom's no good. I only got a 12.
Okay. Well, you fail your will save. And you find yourself leaning towards this monstrous beast, and you believe the despair that it's filling you with, and you want to die. You want to leave this place. You're not worth anything. As you lean in, this is what you're thinking. And then as you get closer and it whispers to you, "You will serve me."
That doesn't sound very good.
And all of a sudden there's something that's, it's like it's right here. And it's not cold. And it's warm, and it feels like it's moving into your body. And you hear another voice. And it says, "Choose." And it's not a voice like that one. It's a beautiful voice, but it's quiet. It's a whisper, and it says, "Choose." And you understand that that despair that you were feeling as it starts to recede a little bit, that it was fake, that it was being put on you, it was a lie. And you can choose to serve this great power, or you can choose not to. What do you do?
I mean, this guy seems pretty terrifying. Can I like look around and see if there's like a way to escape?
Absolutely. Roll me a perception check.
Please, dice, don't fail me now. 17.
Okay, yes.
Plus 2, I got 19.
Nice. Okay. And you look around and you see that there are, like I said, probably 200 of these demonic looking creatures going off into the distance. And there is no way you would get past them fast enough. There's just no way. And this one that's looking at you is watching you as you're looking around. You see his brow furrowing. You think it's a male. Well, no, you're pretty sure it's a male because he's naked. And anyway, his brow furrows. Like maybe he was expecting you to respond right away, but you didn't. You started looking around. And the little voice inside of you, the little warm voice says, choose. And maybe maybe that's all you have to do. You don't know.
Can I look up at the fella and say, what would you have me do?
Absolutely. You look up at the fellow and you say,
what would you have me do?
He's like, free me.
Well, okay. How do I get out of here first?
And then he pulls out a claw, just one claw. And he says, blood ties you. It will make you not free. And he reaches out to scrape you. And you realize, you know what? This is the king of lies. You're not going to get away with lying to him.
I don't want to be bound and man.
The second that you think that, there is a flash of light around you, and you see all of these hosts cower away from it. And that's where we're going to go back. Shauna.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Sorry, I was not
Oh, cheating. No, it's fine. All right. So Shauna, you're sucked into this what can only be called a portal, and you see it. It's not as abrupt as Rob's was. It's not as fast, but when you land on what looks like a sea of glass. As far as you can see, just glass. In the distance, you see what look like mountains made out of glass. It's beautiful and it's pure and it's clear and it's cold. And even though it's so hot in the air, it's certainly not cozy. But it's this bright white reflecting off the glass, making it even brighter. It's kind of blinding, honestly. And it takes you a little while for your eyes from looking down at things to adjust enough to where you can look up. And what you see around you is a host, probably 200 of them. And they're humanoid,
okay.
Mostly. And they are alabaster skinned, beautiful and clear. And they all have wings. Your mind would perhaps go to the word angels.
Okay.
And they're all different sizes around you, different manes, different things. Some look almost like glass themselves, very inhuman. Some look like like they've been carved from alabaster. They're all very androgynous and they're beautiful. But there's something, even though the air is so warm, there's something cold feeling here.
It's empty. There's no color. It's boring. It's like if everything's glass and everything's white and everything's light, there's no balance. Are there any shadows anywhere? Am I casting a shadow?
And you look around and no, the light seems to be coming from everywhere. It's like some film lighting guy, some gaffer did a really good job and there are no shadows. So those of you who are also maybe in the film industry understand what I mean, but trust me, all those scenes where you get not lots of weird shadows on the ground, that is a very skilled lighting person. Anyway, so they have a very skilled lighting person somewhere, or, you know, this land just has so much light everywhere that there's just nowhere to throw a shadow. And of this host of all different sizes, much like on the other side, there's one that is massive. And you look up and up and up, and there's this beautiful winged being of alabaster and calmness.
Okay.
And it's no mouth moves, but you hear that same voice again when it says, "Serve me." Why? We need freedom. And at the back of your head, with this light, this hot, it's so hot, it's so bright, there's no relief from the constant light. And you feel this like cold starting at the back of your head. And as it spreads into you and offers relief, you hear another voice that says, "Choose." Yeah.
So is the other voice connected to the cold that's trying to give me relief? I feel like they're trying to make you, like, everything needs to be balanced. So you have to have the cold and the hot in order for anything to survive or live or anything. So if they're trying to make me choose between hot weather and cold weather, can I not? I'm just, okay, I will. I'm going to say this to them. Can I ask you some questions before I choose anything?
Save us.
From what?
Imprisonment. The voice sounds, although quiet, very sad.
What will you do if I release you from imprisonment?
I will save everything.
How?
I can't answer that. And the head tilts just like that, even though it feels like it shouldn't because it's so stone-like, it's so alabaster.
I just want to make sure that it's that what you would do, being this massive being of heat and light, like, I don't want to release you and have your version of helping or saving anything be something that actually hurts people or anything, animals, doesn't matter. Can you promise me that?
All of a sudden there's a flash of dark, cold that envelops you and sucks you away.
You got
Rob, come back.
I was trying
to. Rob?
Yeah.
You're engulfed in this giant flash of light. There's a jerk that's very disorienting, like You know how when you're stopped at a stop sign and the cars next to you are moving, but it feels like you're moving backwards instead? It's like that. It's very disorienting feeling for a moment. And then you find yourself standing on a street corner in San Francisco. Well, you think it's San Francisco, maybe San Francisco. You've heard of Haight-Ashbury. You see a street sign. And if you look kind of behind you, there might be an entrance. This is Golden Gate Park. And flash! Right next to you, you hear like a bong, bong. And it's not a flash. It's a flash of dark. Yours was a flash of light. This is a flash of dark. All of a sudden, everything gets dark. Everybody kind of doesn't seem to notice except for you. And all of a sudden, somebody you recognize is standing right next to you looking very disoriented. And Shauna is right there.
What the fuck was that?
And Shauna, you see Rob, and Rob is standing there on this street corner that, oh, you've been here before. You know where place this is. But he's holding a fan in his hand.
Too many drugs?
And Shauna is holding her dog in her arms.
She's sleeping, so I didn't pick her up.
And now, what do you choose to do?
Fancy meeting you here, I guess.
It's the only thing I grabbed when I did you. How did you get here? Wait, did you do this? How did you get here?
Okay, well, you're gonna think I'm crazy. And I don't know if I am or if somebody, I don't even know who would have spiked my drink. I'm kind of like, I'm a super loner, so I don't know what happened.
Well,
but I had the strangest dream thing that maybe wasn't a dream, but I don't know if it was or not, and I don't want to say it because I don't want you to think I'm crazy. Okay, but I was sitting at my desk, and this light jerked me forward into this place that it was so, like, the look of it was pretty, but it was also so boring. There was no color. It was just glass everywhere. There was glass mountains. It was bright. It was hot, uncomfortably hot. And there were these massive stone looking statue angel things that were talking to me, and they wanted me to release.
Right. Angels? You got angels?
Well, I think so. I mean, the generic idea of what an angel looks like is what these things look like. They had the wings and stuff, and they looked like they were carved out of like white marble stone stuff. And one of them moved his head, which looked really friggin' weird, man. I don't know if I was on something or not, but they asked me to choose, and there was this other voice that was really uncomfortable and like it was cold. Was choose, and they wanted me to save them and release them, and I asked them questions and they didn't answer, and then this thing pulled me away, and I don't know, it was weird.
Okay, so imagine all of that, but instead of angels, imagine you got demons. So like same thing. They asked me to choose. They wanted to help me. Like I got pulled back. I got pulled back in darkness, though. You're like, I got pulled back in light. Why did you get angels and I got demons and we ended up at the same place? I feel ripped off, but at the same time, I would not want you to go through what I went through. They were evil. It was nasty. I could barely breathe. Their breath was like they ate onions for like 7 years straight and didn't floss.
Oh God.
It was horrendous. And I don't know how I got here.
I don't know why we're in San Francisco. It's a little weird.
I don't know. Shauna, what do we do?
Either we're dreaming and we're having the weirdest fucking dream ever, or we have to do something. Either way, we got to figure out how to get home, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to be homeless in San Francisco.
Same. Can I go and pinch you to see if you're dreaming?
Ouch.
Damn it, we're not dreaming.
Yeah, no. And
I'm just kidding. With my pansy wimpiness.
I need both of you to roll me a perception check.
Okay. Perception.
I got 14, 15, 16.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I got a hold on, math. 21. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. As you're talking and stuff, and you're kind of disoriented, but you're still kind of keeping your peripheral vision around and stuff. And you see Rob.
Yeah.
Out of the corner of your eye, it's like it ducks back behind a building really quick. And you look around, and you're sure you saw one of those demons, one of the medium-sized ones, and it ducked behind a building over there. And the people that are walking, I mean, the street's it's not empty. There's people everywhere. There's people sitting at the little cafe right there. And they're walking all around, and nobody's reacting to something that horrifically strange. And Shauna, you noticed that.
Okay.
You saw the demon, or what looks like a demonic, tormented face duck back behind a building. And then with your 21, your attention's drawn to the other side. And you see back into maybe by the park, the Golden Gate. Oh, you know where this is. This is right at the entrance of Golden Gate Park on Haight-Ashbury. And and you notice that there's something that was very bright there for just a moment. It was so bright you couldn't really make out its shape, but you kind of think you know what it was. And it was there for just a second, but it seemed to go further in.
Okay. So it wants us to go in the park, and the demon thing wants us to go that way. We don't have any weapons.
Well, you got a fan and a dog.
Yeah, I'm about to set this fan down. I'm about to set this fan down and run. That's what's about to happen.
I would rather protect my dog than put her in danger.
So I'm gonna look up at Shauna. Okay, wait, can we act now? Is that
Absolutely.
okay? So I'm gonna set this guy down, and I'm gonna ask Shauna because I don't know. I'm gonna go. Do you know where we are?
We're in San Francisco. We're at one of the entrances to the Golden Gate Park.
Okay. Well, did you see?
Not in San Francisco, but around in this area, and so we've come by here before. Actually, this is a very Shauna thing, which is why I'm doing it. This is the entrance where Mom and I went, and we walked in, and we had this really strange encounter with these homeless druggies who were unhappy about a meth addict guy that came in here, and they chased him off for us and were talking to us, and it was very, very interesting.
This is an amazing story. However, did you see that demon? Did you see that demon that I saw?
Yes, I saw the demon.
So right before
over here, that was probably the weird angel thingies that I saw. That was
okay. The angels I'm not worried about. What I'm worried about is demons. You got to work with me, okay? They're coming for me. They tried to draw blood before I went out of this little portal to go here. You got angels. You got off easy. If you don't want to deal with the people that I had to deal with, we have to run. We have to run now. Do you know where we are? Can we run to the park?
Yes. If we run to the park, we'll be going to where the angel thing was. But do we really want to just leave the demon to roam around free and possibly hurt other people? We don't know what they're going to do.
Okay, I don't know. Last time they really fucked me up. So
I'm fucked up. I'm just saying.
I mean, I was in like another round. They were about to. They were like this close. They have this like claw of destiny that you really don't want to meet.
Claw of destiny. Okay. We'll go with that. All right. Well, we can go to the park. I mean, there's.
If it's closer to the angels, let's do the angels. I mean, if it's anything, your dream felt way cooler than mine, and I just still don't know what's going on. But I do not want to see the people that are after me. I don't want to see them again. I want to see your people, because that sounds like way more fun.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say fun, but yeah, we can go that way. I mean, I don't know exactly. So they wanted to be freed, which what was the goal of yours? Like as we're walking, we'll walk towards
Yeah, yeah.
that direction.
As we're like picking up the pace, we're trying to like
Maybe
jogging a little bit.
because we don't know. Super nerd here. Yeah, I mean, you brought it with you. It could have something special. I don't know. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
My doggy.
Okay. So pick up the pace.
Okay, as you guys head on into the park, there is a gate thing over there, a little arch, and it says, Golden Gate Park, and you go through. And as you go through, again, you hear a sound. Boom. Okay. Nobody else seems to be reacting to it. And
was that the same sound we heard before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And you can feel it as you go through the gate, like you're going through a barrier of some sort. You feel just a little resistance, but then you go through just fine.
Okay.
And roll me a perception check again, both of you.
Ooh. 11.
Come on, roguey person.
Come on, Shauna.
16.
Okay. As Rob, you're not looking at the park behind you, because you've turned to look, once you've gone through the gate, behind you again towards the thing that scares you, the demonic, or what you think is demonic. You're not really sure, but that's really what seems right. And you see, all of a sudden, as you turn around, it is right there on the other side of the gate. And it's just standing there. And not a single human being walking past this hideous creature seems to be noticing it. But you see it. And it's looking at you. And it's looking at you, but it's not coming past the gate. It's just standing there.
We're in a protected circle.
Nice.
Shauna says, and Rob says. Shauna, with your 16, you're not paying attention to behind you. You're looking around into the thing because you didn't, you're not as scared of the demon apparently. And which is true to form. And that we have, and that's another story for true story time, which we might have at the end of this episode. We'll see. Maybe we'll tell you some of the stories that we've encountered with some of these things in this place. Anyway, but you notice that you don't see the light thing, the angel or whatever it is, there anywhere. But what you do see is a whole horde of small figures perched in this very large tree that's back about 100 yards from the entrance where you're standing. There's a fountain right there. There's people sitting on the sidewalk. One of them's pulling out cards. Looks like he's doing like a tarot reading or something. There's people perched on the edge of the fountain. There's other people wandering hand in hand down the park. But across this grassy area, there's this tree with all what looks like all these little creatures in it.
Do they look humanoid or more animalistic? Anything familiar, possibly?
Well, from your background, being Irish, you would think that they might be leprechauns.
Yes. Okay. Is there
I'm also Scottish and Irish, so that works out.
Yes. Yes. Nice.
Rob.
Then you'll really love this game.
Do you see on that tree right over there, the one it's behind the guy who's doing the possibly, I don't know, card reading things? The tree over there with all the things in it, the possibly.
Yeah. No, what are those? What are we?
Do you see them?
Yeah, I see them now.
Okay, and you guys both see them.
Let's go. Let's go.
He's turned away. When you turn to look at him and say that, you see the demon standing on the other side of the gate, just standing there looking at Rob specifically. It doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you.
Okay. Can I roll an insight to see if it really feels Evil?
Absolutely.
Inside. 20. Woo.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
It definitely feels demonic.
I'm gonna.
Okay. Rob, you notice Shauna making faces at the demon behind you in the doorway.
So
Like,
you see the way that thing's looking at me? You see that? That's an
Yeah.
evil looking face right there. That thing wants to eat me alive. They tried to make me bleed, all right?
Okay, Shauna,
Yes.
the demon, when you turn around and pull a face at it, for the first time, it looks away from Rob and at you. And it looks surprised that you can see it. You think, well, you think that's maybe why it's surprised. That would certainly make some sense. But there's a little surprise there, and then it's looking at you, and now it's looking at both of you back and forth.
Be like, feel bad.
Yep.
We'll deal with you later. I guess.
So, and in the distance behind you, you hear like a whole bunch of them.
Oh, nice. That's
Awesome.
probably the tree.
Yeah, that looks magical. All right, that's not of this world. Nobody else can see. That's where we need to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
As
when
you're-
we walk past these people, I'll be like, those were some good shrooms you gave me, Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
That way, if they hear us talking to things, they just think we're on drugs instead of.
Exactly.
they glance at you briefly, and they're like, "You got any to sell?"
No, sorry, man. We took them all. This was good
Right.
shit. Though, let me just tell you.
So that the group that are all perched on the fountain turn away from you,
Yeah.
and it's like, and you hear some of them saying, "It's like losers. They should be bringing stuff to share. They're going to be here in our space." Okay. So you guys approach the tree.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Slowly, I'd be like,
As you get closer to the tree, you can hear the laughter definitely more clearly and whispering, but you can't really make out words. You think it's probably not English. What languages do you guys speak for real?
For real, just English because I'm lame.
English. I'm like a little Spanish. Me español poquito.
I
Okay.
can speak a couple words in Japanese with really bad pronunciation, and I can speak a few words in Gaelic, also with very bad pronunciation. I'll just be like, "Que me le falta?"
I mean, I can do accents on a good day.
Okay. So neither of you understand what they're saying at all.
Yeah.
No mythical languages on my resume.
No, not at this point in time. Okay. But as you're looking as you get closer to the tree, I mean, they look humanoid. They're small. Unlike the stories and the cartoons that you see of leprechauns, there's no green hats. There's no green coats. But there's definitely a sense of, I don't know, the way the voices are make you think that they might be kind of mischievous, and stuff. And fine, but they're all just perched amongst the tree. There's probably 10 of them there, standing there, and they're all talking to each other like it's gossip time and stuff. They're wearing kind of little raggedy brown clothes. And once you get close enough, they all turn and they look at you and they quiet.
Be like,
We come in peace.
no. I'm just kidding. Well, I'll probably do that too, and then be like, "We're not here to hurt you. We could see you, and we're a little confused as to what's going on." And
all of a sudden,
here for some answers.
The one that's kind of in the middle turns into the others and says, "Oh, toys, they can see us." And they're like, "Oh my God, they can see us. They can see us. We should tell somebody." Well, who should we tell? We should tell the prince. No, we shouldn't. We should tell the princess. No, we should tell the prince. No, we should tell the princess. And all of a sudden, a fist fight breaks out.
Oh no, you guys can tell everybody.
Absolutely, we guys. We mean no harm.
Yeah, don't fight. It's okay.
And it's like, and then the one that's the only one is they can't hear you. Yes, it's become this cacophony of tiny fisticuffs going on in the tree branches right now. No, I did. We should have started the princess. In whatever language they're speaking, and stuff. And it's just like, and finally, things sit in there, and it takes about 5 minutes of them fighting. Do you guys stand there for that whole time? Watching these very small creatures
no,
fight.
Guys, it's okay. Don't. Is there
I'm
any?
gonna be uncontrollably laughing because I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, and finally the two main ones that started the fight, they're finally, there's like one of them gets down and he says, your mother doesn't. It's like, I don't have a mother, you don't have a mother either, but fine, but I win. All right, you win. And then that one turns to you guys and says, oh, well, all right then, we're gonna go tell the prince. Wait right here.
Right. Sounds
Wait right here.
You want us to wait
You're
here?
not supposed to see. You're not supposed to see us.
Can we come with?
Do you got any booze?
I
Rob,
got.
do you have booze?
I have a fan.
I have a dog.
I'm not very fond of dogs, but
We got transported here, so we don't really have anything. But
he
what
looks
we
at very closely at the fan, and he's like, and the others are like, he's like, got to see the goods. And he comes running over and jumps onto your shoulder, Rob. And he's about this big, and he weighs just as much as you would think of for something that size. So it's not like a figment of your imagination. There's like, oh, okay, there's something really there. And he swarms over your head, and he's standing on your head looking at the fan that you're holding like that. And then two more come and jump onto your other shoulder, and they're looking at the fan, and they're poking in the product. Oh, shush. Shush. Hang on, I have to go check the door.
We've got Faye, I'm okay with this shenanigans.
I really hope the viewers enjoy how dedicated I am to holding this freaking fan.
Right? I would keep the dog, my dog in my hands, but
It's probably squirming.
they're crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
It's cracking me up. The fan is cracking me up, Rob. So there we go. I'm enjoying it. Okay, we're back. We're back from our 5-minute break. All right, and as we left everybody, what could be leprechauns, some sort of little humanoid creatures, are swarming all over Rob's fan, poking it, prodding it. They're on your head, they're on your shoulders, there's on their back. It feels really strange. One of them manages to get a finger in and gets the blade turning. And you can hear a collective like, some a lot of excited chattering in whatever language that is and stuff. And finally, the one that's on your head looks down at you, and you can just see his little upside down head looking at you very close right here, cross-eyed. And he says, all right, we'll take the fan instead of the booze.
Awesome. Awesome. We did it.
All right, Joey, you got to take him to the prince. And then he says something in that other language. And all of a sudden, no, these weren't leprechauns. Little wings fold out from their brown clothing, and they take flight, and the fan is lifted off of you, and you see them kind of taking it off into the trees.
Enjoy it.
No more fan.
That was cool.
That was
Okay, and there's one left. And that little one flies up right in front of your face. And he says, oi, you got to follow me. Keep up, you slow old.
What's your name?
Okay. All right.
That sounded weird. What's your name?
It says they call me Joey, but that's not my real name. You can't know my real name because real names have power.
That's true.
And when he looks at you, he says that very seriously, like he's talking kind of to a small child. And he pats Rob on the shoulder. I know you don't understand, but never give anybody your real name.
My name is Tempest.
And my name is Storm.
Tempest and storm. Okay, write those on your character sheets. Okay.
Oh god. Hold on, I'm trying to edit this character. Give me a moment.
You don't need to be barking. I've got my Irish on, you see.
Oh yeah. Okay. Got it.
All right. Okay, and then the little flying being heads off through the trees at a pretty good clip for as small as he is. You guys have to walk fairly quickly to follow him. Shauna, are you carrying the dog or are you letting it walk behind you?
She doesn't happen to have her leash, does she?
Not unless you have it there right now.
Okay, well she's pretty good, so I'll put her down.
Okay.
Otherwise I'm gonna be exhausted and I'll be like, come on, keep with me. She generally stays at my feet anyway, so
okay. And so you guys head off. You follow the little thing, you follow him through the trees, and there's some brushy areas where there's no path. And it's a little harder to follow through those, but he's just, because he's flying, he just goes right across them and you're like struggling across them. And then there's a stream and he flies across that and you have to get across the stream. It's just a stream, so you could totally wade, but now your shoes and your feet are wet. Roll me a dexterity check as you're crossing the stream.
$17.
Okay.
11.
Shauna, you cross the stream handily. Rob, one foot slips a little bit and you actually, instead of just getting your feet wet, you're kind of wet up to your knees. You kind of like stumble and splash around a little bit and the water splashes up and gets your knees wet.
You okay?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'm just, we'll see.
Okay. I carry Puppy across for this part.
Okay, and being San Francisco, it's actually quite a bit cooler than it is in LA right now. So you are now wet and maybe getting a little cold as you follow. But it takes a little while, and he flies you through, and it's after a little while. Shauna and Rob, roll me a perception check or an insight check. Actually, not a perception, insight.
He messing with.
Not bad. I got a 1.
Your dice are not doing you any favors again today, are they?
Now, they've been all right on some of them, but not that one.
Not that one.
23, so I'll balance this out. My insight's
okay. So the rogue of the party, Shauna in her real life self, notices that he's like, the path is very zigzaggy. It's like not making sense. And at one point you're doubling back and you're coming back the same way you came. Like he's trying to get you lost so you can't find it again.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, or something, or he's just messing with you, but you're not really sure.
Well, because they got to protect themselves. So.
Okay. Do you say anything to Rob?
Yeah, I'll say that loud enough so that also Joey can hear us.
Okay.
I understand. That's what I think is happening. So don't get worried about it. But they're doing, because they got to keep themselves protected. They got to keep themselves safe. So makes sense to me.
And Joey says, "Well, and if you did know it, then we'd have to kill you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair. I can keep a secret, y'all. No worries.
And it's like, human beings. Are you human beings? You look like human beings. I don't know. Are you human? Well, I guess the prince will sort it out. And he flies into a bush that's in the side of a like a little rock face with trees growing out of it and stuff. One of the little rocky cliff sides that's deep into the park.
Ooh, does it look like a Fey mound like they have in Ireland?
No. It looks like a rocky little cliff face, like it was a hill. I mean, San Francisco's filled with hills.
Yes,
and this one has, but the bush is in the front, and he just flies right through it. You see the bush start shaking as he goes through, and then quiet. All
right, let's go. You ready? I'm gonna pick
let's do this
because I don't want her to not come with me. And I'm gonna rush towards it, and as soon as I get to where the rock is, I'm gonna do this just in case it's a real rock and I hit it.
Okay. Rob, do you do anything or are you just watching this?
No, yeah, I'm gonna walk up behind him doing the same thing, I guess. But I'm not gonna go at like a fast pace, you know.
I'm not
Okay.
running. I'm just gonna kind of.
Yeah, just in
Okay.
case.
Shauna, you run right up. You run right up and you close your eyes and whap, you hit the rock.
Knew it! God damn it!
Rob,
Ow.
you notice that down by her knees is a very small door.
We can't get the door. Maybe.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's not exactly what I would do, though. Bam! Oh shit! Maybe I should look around.
This isn't platform 9 3/4.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
And the door is ajar, as if Joy just went through it. And you guys realize that it's going to be a tight fit, but if you get down on your hands and knees and really, Rob, you might have to actually just like slither through it, but you could potentially get through the door.
Okay. I'm gonna put Puppy down first because she'll go through just fine, and then I'm gonna like army crawl.
Okay. So as you enter, do you let Shauna enter first, Rob, or do you go first? Because you saw the door first.
I probably got to go first because I'm the guy, you know what I mean? Just in case there's somebody ready to punch us in the face on the other side,
But
you know what I
if
mean?
you get stuck, then we're both stuck.
Or you could push me through if I could. I don't know.
I'm punching your ass. Get in there! Get in there!
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the two of you are sitting there arguing at the doorway, and you hear a little voice from inside that says, "Are you coming?"
We're coming. Hold on. We're a little big for the doorway, so we're trying to figure out how to best get through it. Do you have any suggestions? Because we can't.
Bigger door.
Just come through the door. Are you daft?
All right.
It's too small for his fat shoulders.
Guys, this is a problem.
We're not gonna talk about that right now. I'll just crawl in.
We could
I-
always send somebody to eat the shoulders, and then he could get through just fine.
Perfect. Let's go.
Hard pass.
Okay, so Shauna leans down in and starts to crawl through the doorway, and it's actually a tight fit for her for a minute. But Shauna, as you're crawling,
Like get stuck.
you realize that after this is so uncomfortable to do that military arm crawl and stuff, but you'll notice that the further that you go in, the more space there seems to be.
Okay. I'll shout back to Rob. It gets wider the farther you go in, so you just have to get past that opening.
All right.
Those shoulders, man.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna like try
Okay.
to go and get like
Roll me
as skinny as possible.
a strength check, Rob.
He's like dives in.
19.
All right. It is
I
a
got it.
very tight fit.
Yeah.
But if you put your arms first and you really shove with your legs, you can get in there and you can start following. And you see that it's pretty dark inside, but that Shauna, you can't see her anymore. She's far enough ahead of you. Do you push your way in and keep going?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you keep going and you'll notice the same thing that she did, that is the further you go, the wider it seems. And then after just a moment, you see her feet up ahead of you because it's kind of twisty. And you'll notice that you guys are both getting to have a lot of head space, and then there's leg space, and finally it gets big enough you can actually stand up.
Sweet.
Sweet.
And you see something on the side there that looks like a metal pillar that's kind of half sunk into the dirt.
I'm going to look at it.
Okay.
What is it? A bigger door?
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
I got 13.
Okay.
I got 14.
Okay, what you notice is that the pillar is kind of like lumpy.
Mhm.
Like, and it's as you get up to it and you look at it, there's right kind of buried in the dirt what looks like a poster that's been hung on it
Hmm.
with a little thing. Neither one of you have quite gotten high enough perception to really kind of be able to make it out unless you dig further or like, really search around it. But it does seem to be kind of a tall metal pillar that's half sunk in the dirt, with like a poster that was put on it or something that's half buried in the dirt as well on one side.
Can we go up and pick the things out of the dirt to read them?
Absolutely. You can't pick them out of the dirt because they're attached to the pillar, and the pillar is as tall as you are.
No.
Okay. But okay, roll me a search check, which is well
I'll
an
assist.
insight.
Yeah.
Roll us an insight check. That will be what
That is
this
insight. My insight is actually +0, so I got 17 on that.
Okay, and Shauna said she assisted you, so that adds a +2 to it.
Well,
Actually, no, it's advantage now. It gives you advantage.
Advantage.
So you get to roll twice and choose the higher roll.
Oh, really? I'm for
Uh-huh.
sure gonna. 16, so 17.
17 is okay. That's still pretty good. And as you're looking at it, and you realize that there's some words on the poster that are a little buried in the dirt, and you brush some of it off, and it says green beans.
Hmm.
I'm hungry now.
Yeah. Yeah, green beans sound good, but what does this mean? Are we in?
It's probably something that they saw that they liked.
And
Okay.
you realize that with that 17 insight check, that this looks kind of familiar.
How familiar? Like from a dream, from an experience, from a movie?
It's like you've seen something like this before, but not like this.
Do we know what brand of green beans this is?
Oh, you could look.
They could, maybe this is something they like. They might like green beans. I'll look.
Okay. And as you brush off the other part of the thing, it's jolly. You see the jolly green, and if you really dug it out, you'd see it was probably jolly green giant.
Yeah.
And as you're doing that, the dirt's hitting the side of the can. That's what it sounds like, dirt hitting the side of the can.
Oh, interesting. So we shrunk. We shrunk.
We shrunk? Are we
Probably.
tiny?
I'm assuming that this big metal pillar is a can of green beans.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. We're tiny.
Makes sense.
Can we look up and like check around to see if there's anything that makes us obviously tiny? Like,
Okay, well, you're in
we look around and we see like
in a dirt tunnel that looks like it's been dug out. You're not sure by what. There's the can. As you look a little, you see other pieces of like detritus that are in some tree roots down there. Boy, those tree roots are really big. They're filling, this tunnel looks like it should be like 7 feet high. You can stand fully upright in it. But the way that the tree roots and the different things are, I mean, it would have to be a really big tree.
So real quick, a couple
Okay.
things. Just because I don't know, because this is reality, I'm only going off of mythology that I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things, Rob. Don't eat anything here or drink anything. And never tell them your
Okay.
real name, obviously. That's what the kid said, Joey said. And then I think we should turn our shirts inside out and backwards, but I'm not sure if that's for this or if that's a protection thing from the Unseelie court. I'm not remembering. It's been a while. But just I think the main things are don't insult them. Don't eat or drink anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think if you do, you have to stay here. I don't know if any of this is accurate.
Okay.
I'm just going off of the mythology that I was obsessed with.
Okay. Right. I would trust your judgment on the mythology aspect of what we're going through, because this is a first for me. I imagine it is for you
Well,
too.
to this degree. I may have
Okay.
schizophrenia. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I haven't taken these drugs before.
I've never taken these drugs before.
Okay, you hear another voice Joey's voice from way down, echoing through the dirt of this, you know, walk hallway or whatever, or hole or cave or, you know, and he says, "Are you coming?"
We're coming. We can't fly,
Coming.
man. We're slower than you.
Come on.
We're on our way and confused.
That's
Well,
good.
you're human. Of course you're confused.
Oh, my puppy's me.
Huh?
She's me.
Yep. The dog is still with you and she is
She's still the
sniffing
same
around,
size.
sniffing around.
Thank you.
Roll me a
Okay.
perception check as do you guys keep moving down the corridor? There's no floor, by the way. It's just like a round dugout tunnel.
Yeah.
So the footing is actually very awkward.
Got a
Oh.
19.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Okay, Rob, as you're going forward and stuff, you see something duck back into the dirt. It was this giant head. It looked like it was maybe an ant, but that big, it's really scary.
22.
Okay, Shauna, you're looking at your dog and you look up and you see it too, like it was there with the claws, and it sees you with these big faceted eyes that are as big as your head,
Right.
and then it ducks back into the dirt, and you can see it start to cover itself back up again.
Oh, we have to be careful, but it's so cute. It reminds me of the cute ants in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah. Fancy.
Rob looks so thrilled, Shauna. You'll notice that Rob is looking a lot less thrilled than you are. Okay, as you travel on a little bit
this is
further,
great. This is great.
Adorable.
yeah, as you get a little bit further,
Writing it. Sorry, I'll stop.
and Shauna is just like talking incessantly right now because she's so excited. And
Sorry.
you guys keep going, and that's okay. You're being yourselves. That's a good thing. And you get a little further, and you realize that the corridor is starting to open up, and all of a sudden, at one point, there becomes like a paved floor, and then the dirt becomes more shaped, and it's like arms are coming out and stuff, and you could swear to God that there's eyes watching you from the roots in the dirt, and you're not really sure how this is going to work, but it's pretty clear there's still only one way to go. There's no branching paths, so it's pretty easy to follow Joey, but he is way out of sight. You guys have been so distracted with everything going on.
Yeah.
And there's dirt turning into a monster right now?
Well, it's not turning into a monster, but the further that you go, the more the dirt starts looking shaped like arms and faces and stuff like that.
Hey, Shauna, maybe we pick up the pace and catch up with this guy. I don't like the way this dirt is looking at me.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. And you guys move on. And as you look back, Shauna, you do see one of the arm-like things move just a little bit.
Okay.
And Rob, one of the heads turns and watches you as you go. But they don't move. They don't come out of the dirt. They just stay there. And they watch you as you go.
Like dryads or?
Maybe. You don't know. Right now, they just look like slightly shaped dirt.
Okay. They could be, there's so many things they could be. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Is this like Dune or Tremors? What's that one movie?
Yeah, with the worms.
Yeah.
Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my PTSD has taken me. So I'm out of here. I'm hurrying up. I got to catch up to the fairy guy.
We're gonna wave at them as we go by. Sorry, we can't say anything. It's nice to see you.
Okay. And like I said, a head turns and watches you, and then a little bit further on, another head turns. So it's like as you're walking past them, right past you, everything's turning to watch you as you go by.
It reminds me, it's very labyrinthy.
Yes, it is. In fact, that's, if that's what that reminds you of, that's what that reminds you of. And after a little while, then the dirt gets replaced with like worked wood, you think maybe? And it actually becomes like an actual corridor with with wooden walls and doorways and a beautiful marble floor. And then a little bit further on, the wood begins to flower and your path becomes filled with flowers, and the scent is so sweet.
Are they large flowers? Like they look like they're normal sized, even though we're small?
It's a whole mix. There's a lot of different ones and blooming along. And Shauna,
Mhm.
as you touch, do you touch anything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I know you. Yeah,
I
this
can't
is
help it. I'm very-
every flower that you touch turns into a rose. Do you
Stop.
touch anything, Rob?
Probably just
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, every flower that you touch
turns into a dog.
turns into a tiger lily.
Okay, I thought she was gonna say dies. I was gonna, because I went to hell at first. I was like, I was about to get real sad.
Yeah, no, turns into a tiger lily. You're not sure why, but that's what they turn into when you touch them.
Hey, I love tiger lilies.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
So as
Yeah.
you keep moving and it smells so good, and you start hearing whispering as you move down this hallway behind you, and are the flowers talking? Is that whispering? You're not sure. It's like, are we in Alice in Wonderland? What the hell?
This is the best dream I've had in a long time. If it's a dream, if it's real, then it's great. It's even
And
better.
it's great. And finally,
Let's just lean into it.
you get to a doorway.
Okay.
And the door is ajar, but not all the way open, so you can't really see what's on the other side. But you hear voices on the other side, speaking that language that you don't understand.
Should we knock and not just walk in? I feel like we should knock. Yeah. I'll let Rob knock.
Okay,
Yeah,
Rob,
sure.
you knock,
Absolutely.
and the voices go quiet a moment. And then the door opens, and there is a fanfare of music that comes from the other room. And you
Nice.
see coming out from this doorway a beautiful lavender carpet that stretches forth into the room. And it is massive. It is a massive room. Maybe a cavern is the better word, but it's worked. It's beautiful. It's stone. It's wood. It's flowers. It's gemstones crusted into the stuff. And at the end of the lavender carpet is what looks like a dais and a throne.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, we need to try and make sure we don't get too distracted, even though it's going to be really hard, and I'm probably going to be the one who has the most trouble with that.
Okay.
no, this place
And
is
you'll notice
incredible.
that there is a lot of beings in this room of all different types. Some of them look humanoid. Some of them look nothing like humanoid. One of them is just like a tall cylinder with legs and tiny little arms. One of them looks like a dinosaur, only this big. One of them, I mean, they're just like everything, every nightmare, every good, strange dream you've ever had in your life is reflected here in an actual being.
Oh, that would make some of them really friggin' scary.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
All
In
right.
fact, the ones closest to the door turn and look at you, and they have little red hats.
Oh no. Oh no.
And they're only about this big, but one of them smiles at you, and his teeth are filed and sharp.
Yeah.
And he gestures a grand gesture like, enter and go that way.
Yeah, we gotta be real careful here. So red
Yes,
caps, which is what those guys are. I'm telling Rob this.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like barely ever, I never get the chance to nerd out about this stuff. And since this is like either real life or not, I don't know, but I'm gonna nerd out about it. I'm sorry.
No,
So
I
red,
gotta hear it.
which are those guys? Usually their mythology is that they have like a cabin. And if you go to that cabin and you go inside the cabin, more than likely they will kill you and use your blood to make their caps red. That's how
Oh.
their caps are. They stain it in the blood of their victims.
Yeah, so let's not piss them off.
Or, mess with them in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and he gestured into the thing. Do you guys enter the room while you're talking, or do you talk and then enter the room?
Enter while we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are talking and looking around, and everything's looking at you, and it's all gotten very quiet. Do you stay on the lavender carpet and head towards the throne, or where do you go?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna stay on the lavender carpet. Yeah.
yeah, that leads to the important person.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you cross this rather large room, everything becomes a little more clear and easily seen. For some reason, even though it should be completely clear because there's plenty of light in here, the further away you were from the dais, the less clear you could see who was standing there.
Mhm.
The closer you get, the more things clarify. It's like it's coming into focus through a fog, but there's not fog. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
And as you get there, you see probably the most beautiful man you have ever seen in your entire life.
I'm single. No, I'm just kidding.
He's tall. He's seems perfect, you know, with sharp features and high cheekbones. His hair is silver,
Mhm.
and his clothing seems like it's been spun from fine silver as well.
Okay.
Okay, and he stands there in front of what looks like very clearly one of two thrones. And there are many different characters around him, probably 5 other beings on the dais. One that looks like nothing so much as a living tree. One that looks definitely like it was a horse that became kind of human and kind of, but it's got scales on it. There's one that looks like a monster. Actually, it's humanoid, but with long, extra long arms and long, extra long, and long hair that's like dripping off of just pieces of its skull, and the rest of its skull is hairless, and its features don't have any hair either, and it's just looking at you with big, kind of dark eyes that make you feel like maybe like a fish. They're like fish's eyes, but it's on a person with extra long arms and legs.
Hmm.
And then the next one is actually quite a bit smaller, but it's a withered old hag, you know, like an old woman hunched over, not as small as the red caps or the, you know, Joey, but definitely not as tall as most of the rest of these. The
Mhm.
hag is carrying a staff, and next to what you think is a her is another her. And this one looks like she's made from trees and starlight.
Okay. Okay.
Like her hair is leaves, and her skin is like smooth, polished bark. And her eyes are bright blue, like the stars in the night sky.
She sounds beautiful.
And around them are all of the hosts that you've seen, you know, that I've told you about earlier, that are just a myriad of creatures. And Joey is hovering there next to what you assume must be the prince. And he's like, finally you came. Now, best behavior, you two. All right. I can't guarantee anything if you don't, but you gave us the magic box that spins. So, you know, I'm looking out for you. I'm looking out for you.
Thank you, Joey.
And with that, he kind of flutters back into the crowd and away from your view.
Bye, Joey. I hope I see you again.
And you turn to look at, what do? Do you turn to look at the prince? Are you busy looking at the other creatures?
Prince all day.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna bow as much as it's gonna be awkward, but I'm gonna do my best.
Okay, so you both bow.
Yeah.
And the prince, this being, he nods his head to you. And then he doesn't smile. His face seems a little expressionless right now.
Yeah.
Like you're not sure. Is he happy to see you? Is he upset to see you? You're not really sure. And he says,
holding judgment.
And he says in a language, something in a language you don't understand, and waits for a moment. And then and then he speaks in English. And he says, "We don't get many of your kind here."
Really?
Understandable. Probably for the best.
I'm told you can see us and hear us
Yes.
clearly.
Yeah, yes, that is true.
Why are you here?
Wish I could tell you.
Well, it's okay. It's kind of a long, well, not that long, but it's kind of a little bit of a long, complicated story with not that long, complicated. Anyway,
I am immortal. I have time.
this
So
is
here's a big question. What do you know about like angels and demons? Because that's kind of what we're fighting against right now. We don't know exactly what they want, but they both
we
want
don't.
something.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure if they're angels and demons either.
I mean, I just figured they would know the reference. You know, like if you say angels and demons, people are gonna know. You know, she's an immortal. She's heard the reference, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this. This world is at war, but it's an invisible war to your kind.
Okay.
There are those who want to control it that call themselves of light, but they want to turn it into their world, and they eat our happiness as their food.
Knew it. Sorry.
And then there are those who want to control our world and turn it into their world, and they eat our misery and despair as food.
Knew it.
But for both, we are just food.
Yeah.
Now, our
if you
kind-
need a misery and despair. Okay.
We are as natural to this world as you are.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And so we don't want either to control our world, because we don't want to be food.
Well, yeah, and then being food without choice, it's like, well, just having anything try and control you and manipulate you, like livestock, like cattle in a slaughterhouse. That's not. Nobody wants that.
So
That
tell
sounds
me
like
exactly
legitimate.
what they did and what they said.
Do you want to go first, Rob?
And he's,
Yeah, please.
you'll notice he doesn't blink. So his eyes watching you, it's uncomfortable, but it's also, you kind of don't want to look away. Once he starts speaking, you can't really look away from him because he's so
Has that
beautiful.
charisma that just makes, like, he has the kind of charisma that we'll be kind of prehistoric here, but like the 10 on the attraction scale has. They don't have to say or do anything. They just stand there.
Prehistoric. Prehistoric.
I had to use a big word because I just wanted to. Okay.
Uh-huh. So are
Yeah,
you calling
nailed
me
it.
old? Is that what you're doing?
No,
Don't call the GM old. That's a bad idea.
don't kill me, please. I've
Okay.
never grabbed my.
Anyway,
Yeah,
as you
water
talk
out.
to him, he's
What do you-
standing there waiting for you to give your explanation.
You first, Rob. I'll let you go first.
Well,
What exactly?
I got taken from. I was sitting at my desk, having a good old time. I was next to all my fans. I have so many fans, and and I got sucked into this hell. It literally felt like hell. It was there was demons everywhere. There was hundreds of them, and I was picked up by this guy, and he wanted me to join him. And at first, I didn't see a way to escape. So I was gonna, say, hey, if you can get me out of here, sure, and then try to bail. And then I got transported to San Francisco with Shauna, who had a similar story. He seemed very evil, though. The character that picked me up, he had this claw. He was going to draw some blood. He didn't get to, though. Thank God for that.
That is good. What did he look like?
He looked like a demon. He looked like an evil.
Demons are like us. They can look like any myriad of things.
Well, they looked very evil. They were gross looking. I'll draw you a picture, but I'm not a very good artist.
All right. Hopefully your powers, he turns to you, Shauna. Hopefully your powers of perception are stronger. What did you see?
Okay, so for mine, I was at my desk doing some work and stuff, and I got pulled forward. I heard, first thing first is that we heard this bell noise, like this ringing bell noise that chimed first. And then I got pulled forward into very bright light, and it was extremely hot. Then I found myself in this world, or this, I guess world is what I'll call it, that looked like everything was made out of glass. The floor was glass, there were mountains of glass, and I was surrounded by these very large alabaster-like figures. They looked like they were carved from stone. They all looked like they were statues, but they had wings. And there was one that was much, much taller than the others that was the one that talked to me, but it never moved its mouth. It spoke to me in my mind, and it asked me to free them, to release them, and they will, and if I do, they will, what did they say? They will save, but they didn't really specify, and they didn't say. I started to ask them questions about that, like, what does that mean exactly? Will it be a forced thing? And then when I started to ask that question, I started to feel cold, and I heard this kind of grovelly voice that I'm assuming is probably what Rob heard, that told me to choose. And soon after that, I got pulled and teleported here, but with my dog. She's very cute.
He stands there for a moment in silence. And he says, well, and he says something, and he gestures at you, Shauna. And you're just watching him, so you don't see. But Rob, what you see is as he gestures at Shauna, beautiful gossamer wings made out of this blue light seem to appear on her back. And he says, and he waves and they disappear. And then he turns to you and he does the same kind of thing. And Shauna, what you see is massive stag horns.
Ooh, that's cool.
And what looks like an armored form showing over Rob's form. And he goes, And he does that and they disappear. And he says, well, all right. The fact that they were able to contact you means that their safeguards are deteriorating. Okay. The fact that you can see me, see us, means that somewhere in your bloodline, my people have mingled with yours, which doesn't happen often, but does happen.
A high five, Shauna.
Hold on. Let's do it this way. Hold on.
Right. This way.
What that means is that there are others like you. The fact that they can reach
We
you,
haven't seen them.
that they can send some of theirs into this world. They're attempting to break their bonds.
We did see one of the, how Rob described as demons, actually in San Francisco. When we walked through the gate of San Francisco, it was like there was a invisible barrier that it couldn't cross at the Golden Gate Park. I'm assuming that was you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, is that barrier relevant? Yeah.
Well, it's a protective barrier. The demon thing couldn't get through it. But what got my attention to this area was a flash of very bright light, much like the light things that I saw.
That's not good.
Yeah, I don't think it was in the park, but I don't know because I only saw it from my peripheral.
Well then, Part of the problem here is we can bind them, but we can't fight them. So we cannot touch them. They can possess us
Okay.
because we don't have the same kind of body that you do.
Sorry.
Which means that we are going to have to rely on ones like you to fight for us, to rebind outside of this area. Are you willing to become
Yeah.
my hands in this issue?
Yeah, that sounds great. Do you guys have like armor and stuff? Because I can't fight in a sriracha shirt.
I don't think it'll be that kind of fighting, but it might be.
I do.
It sounds like it.
I think that you will need to train first.
That'd be the coolest.
And
Yes.
so, what are your names?
I'm Tempest.
And I have Storm.
And he smiles a little bit. I approve.
Thank you.
Tempest, step forward as you were this first to speak.
Oh, okay.
And you step forward to him.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he reaches out his hand, and suddenly there is a shining silver sword in it.
Ooh.
He says,
Can I hold it?
now this is binding. If
Okay.
you make this promise
What's the promise?
that you will serve this house in rebinding and protecting this world from those that would turn it into food.
May I add on to that promise? With your permission.
Of course.
I would like to promise that I will serve and protect you and your kind from those who would hurt you and your kind, as well as me and my kind, to the best of my ability with everything that I can in the way that I deem the best. Does that sound?
It does. And he reaches forward. And then, unlike human knighting, where they touch your shoulders with a sword, he actually touches your forehead right with the point of the sword. It's kind of like, and he touches it, and you can feel the cold edge that's both cold and hot at the same time touch you. And it seems like the sword, like it goes right into your mind, but it doesn't. But that's what it feels like. You can feel like the sword, whatever part of that promise. And you know that you are bound.
Mm.
And in that moment, those wings manifest for real.
Holy shit!
So Shauna, you have beautiful, massive, what look like butterfly wings. Now they're not made out of blue light once they manifest for real. They are, and you know what they are because of your grandmother. They're monarch butterfly wings.
Yeah. Is there so these are beautiful and I absolutely love them. They might make getting through tight spaces difficult. Do you know if there's a way that I can, because I don't know, I'm not trained, I can like hide them for when I don't need them and then bring them out?
Training is next. And then he waves you to step aside.
Sorry.
Okay. And it's very imperious, but not rude, just like
He's the king, the prince of
whatever this place is.
yeah, so I understand he's being very nice to me.
And then he gestures to Rob.
Bird ways.
Okay. So do you step forward, Rob? I can't hear you. There we go. Now I can hear you. You're very faint. It's like you're.
See, somebody called in the middle of it, and now it's.
There you
my
go. Now
message.
I can hear you. Now I can hear you just fine.
You're back.
Okay,
All
good.
right. So you step forward.
Please.
All right. As you step forward, And he says the same thing to you. Will you serve us?
Yeah, absolutely. You have my word, my sword, my honor.
All right. And he reaches forward with his sword, beautiful shining silver sword. It would be a really cool sword to have, honestly. And he touches your forehead. Do you flinch?
Uh,
Okay, he touches your forehead, and once again, it feels like it cuts right into your brain and your head, but it doesn't. You can feel the tip right there, physical, but something else goes in, and you know that you are bound to the service of this prince.
I just saw Shauna go through this, so
Right. And as that happens, you begin to change. And your clothing becomes armor. And your head becomes heavy. It feels strange, Shauna. You see that that beautiful antlered helmet that you saw on him becomes real.
You remind me of this armor set. Looks like it reminds me of the King of the Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
With the antlers and just, I don't know.
And then he says,
like the Forsworn armor from Skyrim.
Storm and Tempest. Now it is time for training. You will go with them and they will teach you.
Okay.
And you turn to look at them, and it's the 5 people, I say people, that were standing around him. And that's where we end the game today.
Nice.
You guys have just joined the House of the Fae,
Yay!
the Fae Prince. Now there's a princess too, but you haven't met her yet. You don't know what that's going to be involved with. I think if you guys enjoyed this, that we might keep this game for when there's too few people to do the other game, and just add in people as they need, playing yourselves in the Fae realm.
I'm happy with that. I'll play myself in the Fae realm every day.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
This is super fun.
Okay, cool. So now I have to tell you the story of this space in San Francisco the last time that Shauna and I were there. It was really bizarre. Okay, and this is a true story. Okay, Shauna and I had gone to I think it was for an audition for you, right? Or no, we were dropping off Ferret to his new owners.
Yes.
A cat that we were giving over, a kitten that we were giving over to some new owners. And we were hungry, so we'd stopped kind of near where our car was parked, and turned out we were on the Haight-Ashbury, and we're like, oh, hey. And there was the opening to Golden Gate Park there. So we decided that we were going to go in and see Golden Gate Park from this side, because I've only ever come in over on the other side. And we go in, and literally there is a band of people high on shrooms, that we know this because we talked to them later.
Oh yeah.
Ganging up to chase a guy on meth out of the park. But we saw them at this point, they were gathering. Yeah, and we're just like things. And so we were getting a little nervous. And one of them breaks away from the group and comes over to us, and he's holding something in his hands, and we're looking at all these wonderful big old trees. And there's this one tree that has so many like pennies and dimes that have been put in the crook of the tree, that for so many years that it's grown over them, and you can see them embedded in the bark where the tree has grown over the money that's been placed there. And we're looking at that because it's just fascinating. And this guy comes up, this young bearded man, and he's like, and he's just standing there holding something, and he's looking at us. And he's looking at me, and I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, would you bless me? Or no, would you bless this? And he holds out this little figurine, hand carved figurine he'd made. And I'm like, oh, did you carve that yourself? And he's like, yes, I want to call a warrior woman to be my partner. And I'm like, and he's just holding it there for me. And I'm like, and he's like, will you bless this? And I'm like, okay. And so I put my hand on it, and I blessed it and handed it back to him. And he was like, thank you so much. And he wanders off. And And then we walk a little bit further, and this is all from my perspective. Shauna can tell you more about from her perspective after I get done, okay? Because we noticed some different things. And so we continue walking. We're like, okay, now things are getting worse. And we were watching the mushroom heads gang up, and from this hill behind these other trees, these great redwood trees that were right there, we see them gang up on this one guy, and we can hear them saying, we're chasing him out, you know, you get out of our park.
Remember how that guy, the guy that they chased out, started coming towards us and was like he kept following us and kept trying to talk to us and was being a little bit creepy.
Really creepy, yeah. And they ended up chasing him out of the park.
Yeah.
This whole band of people.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're like, okay, we're walking along, and then there's this young woman following us. And finally, I'm like, turn around, I'm like, can I help you? And she comes up and she's like, do you want to? And she's staring at us like this.
Like,
Do you want to buy some mushrooms? And I'm like, no, I have to drive, so not right now. And she's like,
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. You know, and then she wanders off past us further into the park, right? So we turn around and we're like, okay, this is getting too weird. We're gonna leave. And we start walking towards the entrance. And all of a sudden I realize that she's right behind us, following us. And so I turn and I look, and she's doing this as she's following us. It's just like, okay. And we get up to the fountain, which is a real place, and there's all of these people that she's clearly with, because of the way that she goes and she sits with them on the edge of the fountain. They're all sitting on the edge, and they're all staring at us like this.
Yeah.
And then what one of them says, and the others are all like parroting, and they nod. He says, thank you for letting us see your energy. And we're like, you're welcome.
You're very welcome.
And then this old Asian man who's sitting on the ground right next to this place, and he's laying these cards out, but it's not like a tarot layout. It's just, he's laying cards out. And I'm like, oh, are you doing tarot? And he's like, no. And then he looks at us and he starts looking at us with big eyes. And he says, it's the Daughters of Time, but there should be 3. Where's the other one? And we're like, not here today.
We don't.
And we turned and left, and they all watched us like this from their places as we left the park. And it was one of the most bizarre moments of my entire life, but it was also kind of cool. It makes, it's like,
cool.
So I really hope that guy did find his warrior woman, and that the energy that they saw apparently was good energy.
Yep.
So I'm like, if you guys are going to go see the Fae, that's where they're going to be.
Yep. That's so fun. Oh man. Yeah, it was quite an interesting thing. They were all very hyper focused on Mom, so I didn't have to do much.
Right. I mean,
but we were the 2 Daughters of Time. Now, what that means, I don't know. I've never been able to find out if there's like a legend about that kind of a thing or anything. No idea.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm one of the Daughters of Time. Okay.
Yeah.
nice.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But we have dealt with some demonic and some angelic, because we do light workers. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, that's a story for a different
different game. Maybe, I don't know.
And here's the suggestion too: is if we think that this game is good enough and we enjoy playing it, maybe talk about doing this a different day of the week.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. Anyway, this is what I pulled out of my ass for today when I realized it was only going to be 2 players.
Yeah.
I hope you had fun. Okay, so now we have Shauna the Fairy and Rob the Huntsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fairy Tempest and Storm Huntsman.
I like the names. I picked Tempest because just because, I mean, we've got some time and some people might find this interesting. And if not, they can always turn this off before. But I picked Tempest randomly because, Mom, you told me that when you were trying to name me after I was born, that she was torn between Tempest and Shauna. And she ended up going with Shauna.
But Tempest was almost your name. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I think is really appropriate considering my temper. But yeah.
Well, and that's exactly why. So Rob, did you have a name before you were born that your parents were thinking of that they ended up not going with? Nope. You always just were Robert? Well, because you were named for your father,
I'm
right?
Robert Reese Kincaid II.
Yeah, so you're named for your father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
So,
meant to be.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
cool. But now you
Yeah.
are Rob the Huntsman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob the Huntsman, indeed.
Yeah. And if
Or
you should,
Storm the Huntsman.
huh?
Or Storm the Huntsman. It'll be
Storm
funny if
the
other
Huntsman.
people join too, because I thought it was me and Shauna as like a team on this one. So I was like, oh, we're gonna be Storm and Tempest. It's
Yeah.
dorky and awesome, my two favorite things. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it might just be
work,
for
but-
you guys when you guys are the ones that show up, but we
Yeah.
might expand it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If you
Yeah.
guys think it's fun enough, if what audience we have thinks it's fun enough, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. This is fun.
All right. And now, Shauna, we can end this a little bit early. Well,
All right.
and then I'm going to go and I'm going to figure out what the next step is because I just pulled all of this out of my ass today. Okay.
Nice.
So next week, the next time we do this adventure, it will be a little more planned. Okay.
Actually, I thought it was super fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you had me hooked.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, the Fae are wonderfully fascinating.
Well,
And
there's so many interesting mythology and mythos and stuff behind them that a lot of people don't know, but it's so interesting. It gives you, there's so much there that you can play with.
right. Well, and then have you guys seen or read or seen the TV show or the comic book for Good Omens?
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's a series. It's a graphic novel by
Neil Gaiman
and Terry Pratchett, and it's about an angel and a demon that become friends, and the powers that be, the top hierarchy of both the angels and the demons, really don't care about people. But these two have learned to love mortality and love human beings, and they love sushi, and they like, nice cars, and different things. They've become, because they've been on Earth so long, they've become really enamored with what Earth is. And that really spoke to me. And that's I mean, it's not the same, but it's still the idea that, the Fae are of this earth, but the angels and the demons aren't. And so what do we do? Anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, I hope so. I hope so. And hopefully next week, as we get most of our players back, we'll go back to our regularly scheduled session, and we'll find out what the next step is as you're finding the library. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you all next week.
I'll be there. See y'all.
Okay. Bye.
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 Okay, it's done.
Okay. Woo. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it today.
Yeah, it's fun.
Now that we've done this, I'm like going, I think this could be really interesting because you're human beings with your human yourself. You're playing yourself fantastically.
Yeah.
And I know I
It's fun.
like fantastic things. So, but now you have a mission.
Dealing with stuff that I actually know some stuff about because
yeah.
my obsession growing up. To be fair, it's still an obsession now, but
well, it's because it's interesting. It's just fun. I mean, and it's the legends of Fae have they're not always called Fae, but of that side of things have existed for all of time, in every country. So let's make them real in our favorite way.
Yeah, exactly.
Our Irish way.
Yes.
We are the she. There's a reason that my handle is Fireskin She.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I need to go pee.
All right. Bye, guys. I will see you next week.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Yeah,
day.
bye.